Yep. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Selectman Schlag is on the phone, so. Okay, the first thing is public comment. Any comment? Yes.
Mark Stevens, 33 Maple Ave. Get a feeling for where I'm going here. Because we have Maple Ave and Maple Ave East, there's no such thing as Maple Ave East. Doesn't exist. It only exists in the cyber world.
So it's supposed to be Maple, probably Maple Ave West?
No, that's more money. You're gonna need more money for East. But actually, I thought that maybe if Maple Ave and Maple Ave East, which is what Maple Ave is thought to be sometimes because of the cyber world, it's mistaken.
Yeah, it probably is by the VHB report. We went directly off the VHB report.
Oh, that I'm not familiar with?
Yep,
But, it doesn't exist in this town, Maple Ave East, unless something happened in the last 33 years. By the way, 33 years on 33 Maple. Okay. So, anyway, I just wanted you to know that before you went on with I'm assuming you're just pushing through business stuff, right? And the other thing is that I'm available for pointing out the spring that's up on Maple Ave before anything gets done or finished up. Oh, see, somebody's got the reference. Anyway, I would think that Maple Ave obviously is Maple Ave. Maple Ave East doesn't really exist. However, if anybody does go up the hill to St. Peter's, whatever, St. Peter Church, they will see an East on somebody's mailbox. That's because the GPS people have so screwed up his business there that he put the East on there. But I thought you might want to figure out which one you wanted.
I can show you exactly what it
Oh,
is.
great.
It's on the, just for information, it's on the town website. VHB did a road report 2 years ago, and it's published. It's right up there on the website for everybody to see their road index
Yeah.
and how it's identified.
Well, they misidentified because either they missed the west because they're going by the side of stuff. Oh, just a little background. Do I still have more of my 3 minutes left?
You can talk, Mark, it's fine.
Thank you. USPS is how made the original mistake, and then that's how the Google and everybody else, they went by East. It doesn't exist in this town, and actually I had that corrected, the USPS, but it was too late. By that time, Google, Wave, everybody else had the East. So if you're coming to my house, always ask, is that the East? And there's been a lot of confusion from that.
All right, well, we're going off the road report. And there is identification on each. This is really for the purpose of just setting up lines in the budget. And you don't have the road report like you.
Oh, I do. If you do put Maple Ave and Maple Ave East together, it's $344,934 just for our road up and down.
Yeah, but they're broken out separately on the report, which is why, and they're both broken out for different items.
Yeah.
So,
We should call it dumpster.
yeah, I'm just gonna, I think to qualify, because again, this is taken right off the report, we're just gonna qualify that those are the areas that are identified by the VHB report. And I can send you that, it's up on the website.
I don't personally care that much. I think it's going to cost more than that to fix ours.
Well,
And
these,
with the spring in it and all the piping and everything that
Yeah,
needs to be done.
so this does not include drainage work or anything
Yeah,
else.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, that's included in a separate budget.
Yeah.
So these are appropriations for bond dollars to put to those roads.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate
Well, thank
the
you for,
attention to Maple Ave.
pointing it out, but we're going right off the report, so it just keeps it simple. So we'll just, that's how we're gonna
That's
include
up
it.
to you. I just wanted to be on the record that there's no such thing as Maple Avenue East
Okay,
in Haddam, and I can't stay.
okay. See you later. Any other public comment? Yes.
Chip Frey, 27 Crab Apple Corners, neither north, south, east, or west. Thank you for your clarification. Selectman Schley, can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you just fine, Mr. Frey.
Wonderful. I'm sorry you're not here tonight. I was looking forward to your lovely smile. Dear First Selectman Millardo, congratulations on a wonderful tenure of leadership, regardless of the obstructions that you faced. In an effort to #unite and be transparent, I wanted to make sure that Ms. Schlag was available, so I have some information that between January of 2017 and July of 2019, there were a total of 16 Freedom of Information requests filed by Melissa Schlag, Ed Schwinn, and the Haddam Bulletin. The total legal fees for the legal advice necessary to comply was over $24,000. Possibly the best scenario was while Schlag was in office. She knew that the Park and Rec minutes were kept at the residence of the secretary. But when she took office, she decided that she would freedom of information the new administration so she could obstruct you and make a sour grapes point. This Schlag-Schwinn bulletin entity has cost the taxpayers of Haddam a lot of money, not to speak of the countless hours to respond and reply to these requests, not including the countless, many clerical hours spent by Joanne Ricciardelli and yourself, Selectman Millardo, to only name 2 of the employees. Can you, or better yet, Selectman Schlag, explain what beneficial outcome we can expect from these requests? And if there was anything other than to benefit the personal gratification of this entity and obstruction of a smooth running government. There must have been at least $24,000 in savings somewhere, or is that the cost of personal gratification on their part? Respectfully, Chip Frey.
Any other public comment?
I do have one public comment if there's no other public comments from the audience.
There isn't.
Okay, I just wanted to say a quick word about Phil Goff, who sadly passed away today. Phil devoted more than 2/3 of his life to this town and keeping people safe. And I just want to say that my heart goes out to his family and friends, and that he will be greatly missed by many. Thanks.
Thank you. I was not aware that he had passed away.
Thank you.
Did you know?
Thanks.
No.
I did not know.
So, all right, any other public comment?
Is this the last meeting before your tenure, so to speak?
There should be one more meeting.
Mhm.
All right, so let's do approval of the minutes of September 9th, 2019.
Motion to accept those minutes.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Honestly, okay. All right, tax refunds. Okay, there's a total tax refunds of $9,538.88. Breakdown is as follows. Real estate refunds of $3,420.40. Personal property refunds of $2,208.02. And motor vehicle refunds in the amount of $3,910.46. There are no motor vehicle supplemental refunds. A motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we have a couple appointments. Park and Rec Commission and Economic Development Commission. I met with David Law, he's a new resident in town, he's been here a couple of years. He has quite a diversification of background. He'd like to very much get involved in the community. So he is interested in being appointed to the Economic Development Commission, and then in further spending time with him and speaking with him. He's also, a lot of his ideas have to do with trails and different types of things, which really falls under the Park and Rec Commission. So he also has an interest in that. So he, since we do have an opening on Park and Rec Commission, he'd like to serve on both. And then the last appointment is Pete Christopher. He was involved with Little League for a number of years. He's no longer the Little League president. Again, he has a lot of different ideas of things to do for recreation in town. Again, falling under the Park and Rec Commission. He's been going to meetings, just kind of checking it out and seeing as a citizen, and so he would also like to be appointed to the Park and Rec Commission. So we can do them in separate motions. We have a motion first to appoint David Law to Economic Development. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain.
And then under the Park and Rec Commission, Pete Christopher and David Law. A motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
I'll abstain.
Okay, under new business, there's about $3.5 million to allocate for roads. The roads that were bonded first are being finished up if they're not completed already. So what we did is we took the VHP report, Chris and I have been trying to prioritize based on feeder roads, based on some of these are dead-end roads, but there are a number of houses, the condition of the road. One of the biggest pieces of this is to make sure we include Dublin Hill Road and Lieutenant Schubel, and roads that are off and in the area of the bridge, because obviously now that the bridge is going to be completed in the spring when they come back to do the staining of the bridge, we can pave all the roads in that intersection that the state's paying to take care of. The rest of it can all be taken care of. So we added those roads in. We also added in Cedar Lake, which has been hanging out there for a while. Again, waiting for WFS to close, which will close the end of this year. There is some road work on Beaver Meadow that needs to be done, but we're going to hold off on that because we're doing the culvert in the spring. To Mark's point, west or however Maple Avenue is identified on the VHB report, that's going to do some road reclamation. I've already had Jacobson out looking to see what might need to be done. And Little City Road is also on here, to name a few. A lot of the roads that are here, obviously have been waiting, and we've probably had these. But the more important is the index of the roads that were rated from 0 to 100. These are all indexes of 55 or less, which will get us more in compliance to the projections of what we need to spend on the roads. So if I have a motion, the roads that are listed here, I'll read the roads for the motion, just so it's a little bit easier. Cagliari, Cedar Lake, Christian Hill. We've already put some money aside for Christian Hill. This is to finish the rest. Depot Road, Dublin Hill Road, Haddam View Heights, High Street, Little City, Lieutenant Schubel, Maple Avenue East, Parsonage Road, Thayer Road, and Thayer Road Extension, for a total of $3,343,144. So if I can
I'll
have
make that motion.
Okay, any discussion? Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The next request is something that we took care of in a town meeting back in the spring. We had reallocated funds that the fire department did not need for a truck. There were 2 off-road utility vehicles, one for Haddam and one for Haddam Neck, that have been in the capital plan. And at the time when we reallocated the funds, we needed to have a second meeting to kind of clean it up, to be able to put it in the correct. So the funds are actually there in the capital plan. We need to reallocate just a few lines. We're not spending an additional $60,000, it's $30,000 each truck. We're just looking to clean up the line. We need to get approval from Board of Finance, which is next Monday, and then set a town meeting. So what I'd like to do is have a motion to approve the funding of those 2 lines with the tentative approval that Board of Finance approves so we can move forward. And then once that happens, we'll notice and set a town meeting so that can be done and be corrected.
I'll make that motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay. All right, that takes care of our business for tonight. Is there any other public comments?
David Olson, Haddam.
Yep.
Our roads are slowly getting paved. I see Quarry Hill finally got done, and Herd Park is still just a war zone. And Rock Landing has had culverts in for 2 years, but nothing's been done since then. I'm just wondering if, when Rock Landing finally does get paved, if they can come down and fill the potholes in Sergeant Park.
Yeah, I'm waiting,
Because
those roads.
they're almost big enough for my car to fall in.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the contractor to come back.
Okay.
He is due to come back.
Okay.
So it's on the schedule to be
We
done.
don't need, Sergeant Morgan doesn't need to be repaved, just potholes.
Okay.
They filled them with gravel last year, that didn't really work.
Joanne will, that's included in the paving to go
Okay.
on, also with Herd Park. But Joanne can send an email to Public Works so they're aware of it. Thank you very much. Yes?
Neil Perrin, Haddam. I didn't know you may have another Board of Selectmen's meeting coming up, but over the past 2 years, for yourself, putting political parties aside, Larry, yourself, Liz, and Melissa, it's a thankless job. You volunteered to go for this positions. You guys got elected by the townspeople. So thank you for what you guys have put in for your hours that sometimes don't go recognized. And also to Joanne, you know, you're behind the scenes more, but to all 4 of you, thank you for what you've done over your tenure for the town.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Well, I would like to say happy birthday to my second selectman. Just cause a little bit of embarrassment because we don't count birthdays anymore. So it's Larry's birthday tonight. So
Happy birthday, Larry.
all right, hearing no other public comment, motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, everybody.